Alright, peace and blessings. God bless y'all. I'm Jarvis Kingston, and I hope y'all doing solid in these tough times. Now, today I definitely want to discuss about your mental health, dealing with anxiety and depression. You know, God really cures us and heals us. And main thing that's affecting a lot of people nowadays is their mental health. A lot of people have a lot of anxiety. A lot of people have a lot of worry, a lot of fear, a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, and a lot of heaviness. And the war is really mental, you know what I'm saying? It's all in the mind, man. It's all in the psyche, you know, and even the scriptures talk about renewing our mind in Christ, you know what I'm saying? Being transformed for God, man. And our outlook has to change. Our mindset, our mentality has to change, you know. Our mental health is really everything, dealing with our concentration, our focus, our thought patterns, you know, things like that. A lot of people struggle with their mental health due to trauma, or crazy bad things that happen throughout their life, or really painful experiences, or certain events that happen to them. And God is the main healer. He is the only one that can really cure our mental health, man, when we give it to him, you know. We have to ask the Lord for wisdom, and he definitely gives it to us, man. Our mental health is everything. The main two things that are really bothering people a lot of days nowadays is anxiety and depression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Bible verses that discuss about anxiety and depression. The book of Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. The book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 6 through 8. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. The book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. Casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. I'm telling you, God cares for us. The book of Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with temptation he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. Book of Proverbs chapter 12 verse 25. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. The book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 34. Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is of its own trouble. The book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. The book of James chapter 5 verse 15. And the prayer of faith will save the one who is sick, and the Lord will raise him up. And if he has committed sins, he will be forgiven. The book of Romans chapter 8 verse 26. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought to, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. The book of Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. The book of Isaiah chapter 41 verse 13. For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not. I am the one who helps you. Book of Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The book of Romans chapter 12 verse 12. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Book of Psalm chapter 94 verse 19. When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul. The book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. And without faith it is impossible to please him, For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. The book of Romans chapter 5 verse 3 through 5. More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. The book of Psalm chapter 34 verse 18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. The book of Psalm chapter 118 verses 1 through 18. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. Let Israel say, his steadfast love endures forever. Let the house of Aaron say, his steadfast love endures forever. Let those who fear the Lord say, his steadfast love forever. Out of my distress I called on the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me free. Yes, yes. The book of Proverbs chapter 17 verse 22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 8. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. The book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The book of John chapter 10 verse 10. The book of John chapter 10 verse 10. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. The book of James chapter 1 verse 2 through 4. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. You know? The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 10. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. You know, when we feel we're at our most vulnerable point or not, we actually get strengthened from that. So sometimes those tough times that were in our control that we put upon ourselves, or the things that are out of our control, we get strengthened through those things, you know. Got to really keep the faith, you know. Psalms, the book of Psalm chapter 9 verse 9. The Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. You know, the book of 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, man. God is good, man. It's really good. I understand that anxiety, depression is a crazy thing, man. You got to find things to kind of keep you more calm, keep you more at peace. Like if listening to certain music helps, let it be. Maybe take a nice nap, take some nice rest. You know, try to exercise, try to work out. Try to find an activity to do to get you through the anxiety and depression. You know, try writing, try drawing, try, riding your bike. You got to try different activities and hobbies to help you through that anxiety and depression. Do not fall into the route of doing drugs because it makes it worse. Do not fall into the route of drinking because it makes it worse. You end up shallowing and you know what I'm saying? You got to find something to keep you sober and happy and joyful. It's the little things you got to look into that gets you through your depression, that gets you through your anxiety. You know what I mean? It's not about just wanting to be happy for a little moment. None of those mood swings and nothing, but just something to keep you content, keep you stable, keep you mentally stable, keep you emotionally stable, We have to find things that, can help us through that. Because, of course, God is the source. He's the ultimate one. And also, in a carnal sense, in a physical standpoint, we have to find activities and hobbies that could kind of help through your depression or anxiety. Some people like writing when they're feeling sad or depressed or having anxiety. Some people like to go out in nature. I love to go out in nature. That really clears my mind. That really keeps my head on straight. Your sanity is everything. Your mental health is everything. And I'm really glad that this generation, we stress mental health more than ever. We're more like much more conscious of that. Like people used to be kind of scared to talk about mental health, and people used to be kind of taboo at one point. Now it's very popular in almost every conversation you can have with anybody. So the anxiety and depression, man, y'all gotta really work through that, man. That thing is a process. That thing is not a right on the spot thing or a overnight thing. Now, certain things can intervene and make you happy right on the spot. Like if you have a random encounter with a stranger, or some good news just pops out of nowhere, something unexpected good happens to you, that could just, boom, that could wipe out your anxiety and depression right away. Like you'll just be going through your day, you be like, dang, I was just feeling sad and mad about this and that, and boom, this good thing happened, or I just met this person, or this stranger said this to me, So it's little things like that can help your depression and your anxiety. Those beautiful moments that are unexpected that just pop in your life, those things are always amazing. So let's see if we go through other scriptures that deal with anxiety and depression. Let's see. The book of Psalm chapter 42 verse 11. Why are you cast down, O my soul, and why are you in turmoil with me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God. I'm telling you, man, God really heals us, man. He really he keeps us stable, man. We got to do better. The book of Romans chapter 8 verse 28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Just kind of flip-flop and do different scriptures. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in the dread of them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. That's the thing, man. Straight up. The book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 25 through 34. Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet our heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more of value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Man, even Jesus talked about not worrying so much and stop being concerned with what's going to happen, or how's it going to go, or dang, what happens if this happens, that what if, that's like the biggest killer in your thought process, that what if, the things you speak over your life, your thought patterns are everything, man. You have to control your thought patterns. You have to be more mentally stable. We have to be, our cognitive function has to be much better. Our focus, our concentration has to be better. No distractions, One thing that causes anxiety is actually watching TV. A lot of people don't know that, but watching TV causes anxiety. Listening to certain music causes anxiety too. So you have to be careful what we listen to, what we watch, our daily routines, our daily habits. All those things add up to anxiety or depression. Even people you deal with, people can make you more anxious. People can make you depressed. We got to surround ourselves around the right people, man. Got to really, if you need me time and you need to be isolated, you just need time to yourself, let it be. You might need that detox from people. You might need that me time. You might need to get away, to get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? You having a crazy day at work, a crazy shift, whether you're dealing with customers or coworkers or management, whatever. Find that me time. Get away. Get a breather. Take deep breaths. Take that woosah. You feel me? So understand, man. Nothing, man. Your sanity is everything, man. You feel me? We got to have our minds focused, clear, and sharp in these last days, man. And that mental health is everything, man. Anxiety and depression really clogs up the mind. So let's fight through anxiety and depression day by day. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Peace.